go see the Mardi Gras. If you go to New Orleans, you ought to go see the Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras, and welcome to another episode of Tales from the Parade Route. A lot of the times, our guests are crews that are parading or marching groups that participate in parades. Tonight, we have a special crew. Not only do they not parade, but they do a very elaborate ball. They are, as far as I know, it's the only Gay Leather Ball or Leather Krewe. Tonight we have Brock with the Lords of Leather with us. Welcome. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. So I know that the crew has been around for quite a number of years. Y'all started somewhere around 1984, and what drove the crew into formation? You know, what's the origin story behind it?
Actually, it started in 1983, but the first Mardi Gras ball was held in 1984.
Okay.
It was started by a group of men who had an interest in leather lifestyle, and wanted to organize and also put on a ball. They want to use the leather theme in ways that you could use them in costumes and present something different from the other crews.
Right. Yeah, a lot of the times the other crews, you'll see them, I guess, highlighting feathers and things like that.
Beadwork or whatever, neon colors, some lighting.
Well, we use feathers too.
Was there any resistance from the community or people that didn't think you guys should have your own ball?
No, I don't think so.
No?
Each group,
It was pretty open?
oh yeah, I think
So
so.
it's always been pretty open to that kind of thing, and I think that's what drives a lot of that to come to be, is that, you know, it is especially time of year that everybody's supposed to be themselves, you know, do what you want, and that's seems by and large most crews are organized that way. It's just a group of like-minded people, you know.
Yeah, very welcoming community. I just know there's certain people that have a very one mind track, and you usually see them on Bourbon, you know, protesting usually.
Right.
I just
Yeah.
didn't know if
You
you
just
guys had
walk past
any
them.
crazy fanatics like that.
Nowadays, we don't really face a lot of opposition
Yeah.
from anyone. But back in the 60s and 70s and early 80s, the police force here was not in favor of gay balls, and a number of them were busted annually. And the gay crews had to move some to secret locations because they weren't able to rent a municipal building for a ball because it wasn't acceptable. Sometimes police would raid them, and it really wasn't didn't start out to be welcoming at all, except to each other.
Yeah.
Well, I've known about y'all for a number of years. You know, y'all are always mentioned in, you know, the Mardi Gras guides, and you know, a lot of Mardi Gras publications will, you know, I guess acknowledge y'all's ball every year. And I've never gotten to see one of your balls, but I know that looking at some of the pictures and whatnot during my research, y'all have some super elaborate costumes. And one thing that's a little bit different with y'all's ball is a lot of the parading crews, you'll see them, I guess, hiring a design crew to design their costumes. Everything's handmade by y'all,
Yes, it is.
by the members.
Each year, our ball captain chooses a theme and then draws sketches of different costumes that represent that theme. And then each member chooses by seniority which costume you want to do. And after that, you start working on it. And this usually happens in midsummer
Yeah.
for the following Mardi Gras. So we start building, most of us with a backpack or metal rods that are bent over our shoulders that will support everything, and we attach the rods to the backpack with pipe clamps and wire and design them that way, and then cover them with fabric or whatever the costume calls for.
Right. So, how does the captain come about the theme each year? Does he decide it with a group, or is it,
It's
hey, I'm into this this theme this year, or
It's pretty much a captain's decision. Luckily, we have some very creative minds on our crew, and they come up with ideas. Last year we did an Asian theme, China, the Forbidden City. This year our theme is horror movies. So each costume will represent a movie. Most of it, they're very popular and well known.
Yeah.
Some are old.
so? Tell us a little bit about the ball. What all takes place at the ball?
Okay, well, this year our ball is on February 23rd, a Sunday before Mardi Gras. It's at the Alario Center in Westwego. This is, I believe, our 4th straight year there. It's a formal occasion. Men have to wear tuxes, or whatever they're wearing needs to be primarily leather.
Okay.
Women, ball gowns, or some costumes are accepted. But it's a formal event. Most people wear tuxes and women wear ball gowns. Starts out with a welcome, Star Spangled Banner. It's kind of a formal event that way.
Right.
Ball captain, and we have some MCs on stage that introduce each crew each crew member as they come out in their costume. Current reigning royalty from the year before sits on the stage and observes the whole affair. We also have a charity number each year where we choose a local charity, and the baskets are passed through the crowd, and the donations go to that charity. We have a couple of entertainment numbers. This year we're having a live music event, and one of the local marching groups will be in our ball as well.
Wow.
So it'll be
Is
lots
this
to see.
a
Yeah.
public event generally, or is it members only invitation, or how does that work?
No, it's public. The past few years have always sold out. We have upwards of 700 people.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
At Alario, we have the whole
Building?
auditorium that we use, well, not the whole building,
Okay.
but our part of it. We have tables set up, 10 people per table, through the whole floor. I mean, we're against the sides and all the way to the back.
How long does the event usually go on for? Like from start to finish?
It starts at 8 and it's over by 10.
Well, I'd assume the tableau part of it goes till 10. I'd have to assume that the ball, the party aspect goes on well into the night.
It does. It does. The ending
They all
of each
just hang it up.
I should have rephrased my question.
No, at the end of each ball, of course, we crown new royalty.
Yeah.
And we crown a Lord King. And because we're Lords of Leather, we do not have a queen. We have what we call a Lord Consort.
Okay.
So it's the equivalent of a queen in the other. Like all the other crews have a king and queen. We do
Yeah.
king and consort. To
King?
try to represent a more masculine view.
Mhm.
You see, you wouldn't really want a queen necessarily, even if it was a guy.
Right. We don't, our crew does not do drag
Don't
only
know how to
once
say
a
it in any other
Oh my
way.
God.
Our crew does drag once a year. We have a special benefit show that we do. but
What?
Yeah.
We don't appear on stage as drag, not
Yeah.
in drag. Campy maybe, but not drag.
Wait, so you guys have a drag benefit show throughout once a year?
We have one once a year.
You all
Maybe-
don't dress up though, it's just,
Not all of us, but
Not all of us,
some
but
of us
some.
do.
what do you guys have, are you guys doing it 2020? Or is it, have you already done it this year?
We did it Thanksgiving weekend.
So
We have events all year long.
Yeah, I saw that y'all have like beer meetups, and I think I saw something about a brunch that was either just passed or coming up.
Something
You
coming
see,
up.
and just fellowship members meetings throughout the
Definitely.
year.
We have monthly meetings and at least one event per month in addition to our meeting.
Yeah.
Sometimes as many as 3 or 4.
that's
Is
awesome.
that
typical
of non-parading crews that so many would get together? Do you know? I'm asking these questions. I've always been interested in the crews that don't parade because they are so plentiful. There's lots of them, And but I know nothing of them. As much as we know about Mardi Gras, we know nearly nothing of these, and I can imagine we're not alone in that. Is it typical of the non-parading crews to really be so active together? Do you and any other crews get together at any time of year, or?
We do. A ball is an expensive production.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
we do our monthly events all to raise money for the ball.
Oh, okay.
Everything we do is to raise money for the ball. That is our crew's primary function.
Yeah.
Is
Right,
to
right.
put on a ball
Yeah.
for our members, our guests, our supporters, and like I said before, we generally bring in 700 to 750 people every year. Very popular.
Hmm. How many members are in the crew?
We have about 23, 24 full-time members,
Okay.
full members, and about the same number of associate members.
Well, see, y'all really do a lot with a very small group.
Yeah, it's not a big group.
Wow. Especially a 700-person ball. It seems like a monumental task for 20 people to put on, especially all with decorating and building your own costumes.
You guys have to share the wealth of responsibility, I'm sure.
We do. I mean, we have officers in the crew, and each person is responsible for certain parts of it. And but the ball captain is primary responsible for the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, almost all the decisions are made by him, and it works out well that way.
Do you have a personal favorite theme that y'all have done in the past?
Well, of the years I've been in the crew, my favorite would be 3 years ago when we had it was Magic to Do. Probably I think of that because I was crowned Lord Consort that year.
Oh, wow.
So I was
Congratulations.
royalty that year. So that's probably my favorite. But we always have some really fun costumes, and people are creative with their ideas. We get a sketch, but you can go a little beyond that. So
Yeah. Yeah, seeing the pictures of y'all's costumes, I guess what's traditionally called a collar, in most balls, I'm not sure if y'all refer to it as a different name per se, but I mean they're extremely elaborate to where, I mean it's just as big as some of the biggest king collars that you'll see in Mardi Gras.
I'm sure. For instance, mine this year will be at least 12, 15 feet above me. I mean, from the ground to
Yeah.
the top. It'll be really, it's big.
Wow.
But my royalty costume was even bigger. It was probably 15 feet across and 12 feet high.
Like a peacock.
Wow.
Like a peacock.
It is. You put it on your shoulders and you hope you can stand up.
I hope there's no wind.
And right.
Don't breathe on me.
If you go outside, you feel like you can really feel the gusts.
Some drag.
Yes.
How much do y'all's your collars weigh per se?
I think the year I was royalty, I think it weighed about 40 pounds.
That gets old.
Yeah.
That gets old on your shoulders after a while.
You don't wear it a long time.
Sure.
Yeah.
As far as your presentation in the tableau, you choose your music. If you choose 3-4 minutes, that's about it, most of them. And so that's as long as you actually have it
Wow.
on stage. It's a lot of work for very few
I was about
minutes.
to say, after all that work, I might have to sport that thing all
You
night
would want
and
to,
just
but
deal with the back problem tomorrow.
yeah. But we don't. We just wear it on stage one time.
Yeah. Wow.
How do y'all go about picking the royalty? You'd mentioned that y'all have a king and a consort each year. Is it just chosen at random? Is it kind of like with some of the balls they'll do like essentially the king cake to where the one who gets the baby gets becomes king for a day?
We actually have an election,
Oh wow!
which our members vote. You can throw your name in the hat if you'd like to be considered royalty, and then we vote. And that's usually done shortly after the Mardi Gras before, or spring or early summer.
Out of all the ways I've heard it so far, and generally speaking, it's a lot of times with parades. It's can you afford it? Can you do it this year? So it's a smaller group. That's the first time I'd heard of an elected royalty. So that's kind of neat.
But you're right, it can be expensive.
Yeah. Especially I'm sure yours is too. With King's parades, I mean, the float costs, there's party costs, you have to entertain other kings. Yeah, that gets it can get bad, or have as much fun as you want to have, kind of thing. But
Exactly.
but
Each royal member or regular member, you can spend as much as you want on your costume. You can go way overboard because just the basics of the costume are supported by the crew, the wire and the rods and that sort of thing. But all the
the
decor
essentially, right.
is your choice. You can buy the most expensive fabric if you want, or you can try to
buy nickel 95 fabric if you want it.
if you want, but you want it to look good.
Yeah,
So
right,
most
right,
people,
right. Yeah.
Most people
Are
are
willing
very-
to, they're willing
aware
to
of how
invest
it
in
looks,
it.
and they want it to look good.
well, as recent crafters for our specialty throw, we realize how quickly that adds up. It's like we just have a foil container of this much, but it added up in a hurry on us, and we're like, wow, but we'll have some sparkly stuff this year.
Yeah.
Well, sparkles are good. That's what you want to do. That's
So-
definitely what we do.
You'd mentioned that you weren't there for the beginnings. When did you come into the crew?
I moved here in 2011, so I joined the following year, so in 12.
Okay.
So I've been in it 6 years now.
Is it an open membership, or y'all basically keep the same core group, or?
No, it changes every year. We take in new members every year. Some people drop out, of course.
Yeah.
Right now, most of our officers have been in 2 years. Any office is easier the second time around, so we kind of encourage people to do it for 2 years.
Yeah.
I've been president now 2 years, but I think it's somebody else's turn, I think, now.
How long, are there any remaining original members?
From 1983, I do not think so.
So besides the ball, you have a couple of special events. I hear about a contest.
Yes, we sponsor the Mr. Louisiana Leather Contest
Ooh.
each fall during Southern Decadence.
Okay.
It's a contest open to all males on the Gulf Coast. Our current one lives in Pensacola. The one before lived in Pensacola, and the year before lived in Pass Christian, Mississippi. So we're not limited to Louisiana, even though the title is Louisiana.
You gotta just call it Gulf Coast. It seems like a higher range.
We could, but we've called it this since 1993, I think.
Okay.
And it's worked, so we keep that. But the winner of that contest each year is an automatic entrant in the International Mr. Leather Contest,
Really?
which is held every Memorial Day weekend in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
And that event has been going for over 40 years now. So we always send a contestant in that. So that will be again this coming August or September, depending on how Decadence falls.
Yeah.
Are they represented in the ball as well?
Yes. Each year's winner will read the proclamation,
Okay.
which at the beginning of the ball, they read the proclamation, which proclaims it's now Mardi Gras, and it's acknowledging the leather community along with all the other gay crews.
So you'd mentioned Decadence Festival for the Mr. Leather competition. I'd have to assume that y'all play a very active role as well in some of the parades and the activities related to Decadence. And I know during Easter there's like a parade.
There's the Gay Easter Parade, which is always on Easter Sunday afternoon. There is the Pride Parade, which is in June, and then the Decadence Parade. And since I've been a member of our crew, I think we've walked in every parade. And most of the other gay crews do not. So I think that really gives us some exposure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We carry our banner, most of us dressing gear, so it's obvious who we are. And I think that has played a big role in us attracting some new members, because all of a sudden, if you're interested in that, but you don't know how to start,
Yeah, you'll see y'all in.
you'll see wearing our gear, and you'll see a way to connect.
So you do parade. I mean, when I say balls that don't parade or crews that don't parade, you don't necessarily have to have your own parade. You don't have to throw your own parade to participate, sure. And this seems like y'all more active than I would have imagined, really.
The parades, those three I mentioned, have many, many entrants, usually over 100
Yeah.
Yeah.
each, and we're just part of that. So
I was at the Pride one at Golden Lantern this past year, and I had a real good time over there. It was
yeah,
fun.
we have huge crowds turn out
Yeah.
and watch, and it's a lot of fun.
The Golden Lantern, it's appropriate for that parade. Like they're fun while they're welcoming to everybody, but their crowd is really big into the scene and all that. That's their people, and
Right.
it just feels really. That's kind of their homecoming. It feels like when you go over there.
Well, Southern Decadence began at the Golden Lantern.
Oh, does it?
That's considered the
Oh, did it?
original
Yeah.
spot. So that's why the parade for Decadence begins there.
So earlier you'd mentioned that at the ball y'all do a donation collection for charities. What's some of the charities that y'all have worked with in the past?
Last year we chose a charity called Violink. It's an organization that works to prevent teen suicide. A lot of kids, as we've all heard about, have a lot of trouble accepting their sexuality, and there's
Yeah.
a high suicide rate among kids. It's part of the bullying scene where other kids in school can be really mean to these kids. And so that's what we did last year. This year we're choosing the LGBT Archives Project,
Okay.
which is in the quarter on St. Anne Street, a relatively new project of Frank Perez, who's been very active in the gay community, acknowledging our history, and putting it on public display. And so this year, we just chose the other night to donate our contributions to that this year.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. When you're selected as king and queen, king and consort, do you have other responsibilities outside of the ball throughout the year?
Not designated, but we use those titles to represent our crew in the parades. When I was consort, you wear the crown, the sash, you bling it out as much as you can for the parades.
Right.
And also, since our ball is the last one, then the royalty each attend the other gay balls the next season, and you represent your crew at theirs.
Okay.
Like by the time we have our ball, every other crew will have new royalty. So they represent theirs at ours, and we do at theirs.
So you were saying, I know all your activities basically come to fruition, like they end on the Sunday before. That's Bacchus Sunday, which is really in the meat of things. So you miss a lot of Mardi Gras. Does that bother you at all, or are you at the Mardi Gras that you want to be in?
Well, I do what I want to do.
Yeah.
You're right. In years past, I've seen part of the Endymion parade only 1 year.
Yeah.
Because the Armenia's ball is normally on Saturday.
Right.
Okay.
So we missed that completely. This year, theirs is on Friday because of Superdome construction forcing the parade to change routes. They're having their ball at Mardi Gras World. And with the
Okay.
parade route changing, you couldn't get to Mardi Gras World on Saturday.
yeah.
So they moved theirs to Friday. So maybe this year I could see Endymion. Like I usually see King Arthur, maybe one or two others.
Saturday Uptown's a real good parade, and that's what, 4 or something like.
Right. It's just because
Yeah,
our
it's-
ball is so late,
Yeah.
we're still working on things until
Yeah, I
the
can
last
imagine.
minute. Lundi Gras, finally, we're done. And it's Lundi Gras and it's Mardi Gras. And so you don't get a lot of rest beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your first Mardi Gras parade that you attended ever?
Well, it would have been in 2012. Probably,
Was it memorable?
yeah, it was probably Nick's or Muse's, one of those, I would guess.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I did not grow up in Louisiana, so Mardi Gras was new to me. That was the first one I observed.
Well, either one of those is a great first one to start.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
very elaborate, very well done.
Right. So I was very impressed, and
Was it one of those like bug type things where like once you saw it, you wanted to do it? Like, I want to be a part of something like this?
I think, yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know how one becomes a member of one of the super crews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about that. I knew the smaller community, and I knew that's where I wanted to be. And then I went to my first, I think the first ball I ever saw was a ball of the crew called Amen Ra in the gay community. It's the first one I saw. And then they're so different from the other crews, all the gay balls, with humor and satire
Sure.
and not quite the formality. So
It's
I knew
unusual
that's-
that you see so many differences and variations of ball, because there's a real regimented old line ball, and a lot of the new crews have really gotten away from that, but then a lot of the new crews really embrace that old style and like the tradition of it. So
Yes.
you never know what you're going to find. I know there's metairie parades that have a really old line ball, which you'd never expect of a new crew, or and then some of the uptown parades, which you would expect to be very regimented, very traditional, or nothing of the sort. So it's strange, the life of balls and how they're thrown and how they come to be.
Right. We have
know?
traditions too,
Mhm,
but
sure.
they're different. Like,
Well, when I say traditional, I'm picturing the Rex ball, which, no offense to Rex, I think they throw a tremendous parade. They're really the gold standard, but their ball would put me to sleep. That's all there is to it. It's just not my thing, you know. But that's the one I'm talking about when I say a really regimented, traditional old line, ball, or something
yeah,
like.
ours are very different.
It don't fall in that category.
Right.
Night and day.
We usually pair a drag queen, usually with a male on stage for our MCs, and there's a lot of banter back and
Yeah.
forth, and talking, directing things out to members in the audience that they know, and there's a lot of laughter and
Almost like a roast.
yes, exactly.
Yeah. So this y'all's ball sounds like it's a
I
fun
actually,
time.
yeah, out of everyone that's come on here, I'm like, yeah, sure, we'll come to your ball. Like, I don't know about y'all, but speaking for myself, I'm like, But this one, the horror themed, I actually kind of want to go to this.
You gotta wear a leather tuxedo,
I'm gonna
You don't
wear
have to wear a leather one.
Oh, come on, I'll
You
get them the.
a leather tuxedo.
You can. You could wear. You
I
could
almost
wear.
had 'em.
You could wear tux pants and a harness, shirtless, and you'd
Yeah.
be okay, as long as most of what you're wearing is either formal or leather. Expected.
Can you pre-buy tickets to the ball?
Oh yes, it's on our website right now, ticketleap.com.
Mm-hmm.
If you just search Lords of Leather, it'll pop right up.
And you'd mentioned your webpage. Where can people follow y'all?
Right, it's www.lordsofleather.org or ticketleap.com to buy a ticket for the ball.
Are y'all on any of the social medias?
We have a Facebook page called Lords of Leather Monthly Event Page. We have one of our members who is pretty good about putting everything on there, and we try to keep updated that way.
Are most of the events throughout the year public?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So I know it's a fundraiser, but sometimes you just want it to be you guys, So
No, it's almost always public. We try to invite other people from other crews to come in, or just friends that aren't members of any crew. No, like the ball is public. More the merrier.
nice.
I noticed you brought a couple programs here from past balls. I mean, that's a pretty elaborate book, I mean, it's not just like a photocopied, you know what I mean? Like,
No, it's a nice souvenir ball program. This was from last year, Forbidden. It had an Asian theme. The year before, we had a theme called Olympos. So it was like a Roman and Greek sort of thing. And these are most of them are filled with ads for various businesses in the community, and some of it is like personal messages to people
Yeah.
yeah.
to salute the royalty, salute the ball captain, things like that.
If you bring it over a little bit to your left, boom, right there.
Right there, we maybe see the cover. And so this is a project every year to sell the ads and put all the necessary information in there that you would to get the word out about our crew. Some of our events are advertised in here, how to join.
Mm-hmm.
We always have a rush party every year after Mardi Gras where we take in new members. And the ball itself, this year for the third year running, we've got the best ball award from Ambush Magazine, which is the local gay publication.
Oh, wow.
And that's
Yeah.
done, that's you can nominate for events or people or businesses, and then it's a vote of the community.
Well, that's a fairly high honor, knowing I don't know a great deal about all the other balls, but I know they're all elaborate. You know, I haven't really seen any of them in, like I was telling you earlier, probably 15, maybe closer to 20 years. So, but I know they're all have always been, you know, that's their shindig of the year, so it's over the top. So to be voted the best, yeah, you've got to be doing something right.
Yeah, 3 years in a row. I think we've left an impression, obviously.
Again, where can people buy tickets for the ball?
People can go to our website, which if you go on there, Balmask 37, you'll see a link to go to Ticket Leap, or you can go to just ticketleap.com and search Lords of Leather, and it'll pop up right away.
Yeah, awesome.
And I suggest buying them soon because we always sell out usually about 2 weeks before.
Oh, okay. That's coming right up on you.
And that way you have time to plan your outfit.
So, again, thank you so much for coming on with us tonight.
Thank you for having us. It's nice to share something that the general public probably doesn't know a lot about.
Right, yeah,
sure.
yeah. And that was what
That
meant
was
a lot to
absolutely
us.
our
was-
interest. It was, but it's something we're as crazy as anybody about Mardi Gras, and we know almost nothing about that side of it. So it's great to hear some of it, and I'm glad you guys all work together, and that the community is, although separate crews, still a community.
I think there's a lot of support from other crews. We all realize that we're better together.
Sure.
Yeah.
I definitely think that.
We hope to see you out at the ball. Signing out. We'll see you on the route. Happy Mardi
Happy
Gras.
Mardi Gras.